There's a hook there.
It is a significant opening.
This could be the offset chamber.
Another anomaly is this one in the northern tip of the swamp.
Could be the Jack Adams box.
The box.
Jack approached your father and said, hey, I've got a metal target.
What is that?
I don't know.
A new 2025 discovery on Oak Island has been deliberately hidden from the public, and the reason will shock you. The team broke into a sealed chamber 160 feet down, and what they found wasn't gold or jewels, it was a message. This isn't about a Templar map leading to treasure. According to leaked information, the object inside that chamber contains a warning for all mankind, a warning that has been waiting for centuries. Rick Lagina's stunned silence wasn't because of awe, it was because of fear. The greatest secret of Oak Island isn't what's buried, but why. 160 feet below belief, when the massive caisson known as C1 finally punched through a stubborn layer of rock at over 160 feet, nobody on the Oak Island team was prepared for what came next.
Yeah, there was a definite shape.
That is man-made.
For years, they'd chased shadows, pulling up waterlogged wood and tantalizing fragments. But this was different. The drill didn't hit soil or a wooden tunnel floor. It hit something smooth, hard, and impossibly flat. Get this, it was a perfectly engineered surface. But when they brought in sonic imaging equipment, what they saw made their blood run cold. A 12 by 12 foot perfectly square room. A vault. With something still inside. This wasn't some crude pirate bunker. The stones, a type of polished black basalt not native to North America, were fitted together without any mortar, a technique known as ashlar masonry.
And there's even more over this way I thought I saw.
But at a level of precision that baffled modern engineers. Believe it or not, the seams between the massive multi-ton blocks were tighter than a piece of paper. Rick Lagina, standing at the edge of the shaft and looking at the monitors, was visibly shaken. For the first time in over a decade, the man who lives and breathes this mystery had nothing to say. Then, as a remote camera was lowered, something on the surface of the vault's wall caught the light. It wasn't just a carving, it was an inlay, a Templar-style cross made from a reddish gold metal that impossibly showed zero signs of corrosion after centuries underground. Right then, according to an anonymous source on the production crew, the feed was cut. The team's lead geologist, looking at the initial scans of the basalt, reportedly said this material has been exposed to extreme heat, something we can't replicate. A wave of whispers and confused looks swept through the war room. The energy, once electric with excitement, turned heavy with dread. The official story is that they stopped to ensure the structure was stable before proceeding. But the truth is far more unsettling. Hours later, a single blurry photo appeared on a deep web forum before being quickly deleted. It was taken from a monitor and showed the inlaid cross, but something was happening. The cross was emitting a faint, pulsing light. The object wasn't just a symbol, it was part of a circuit. This discovery wasn't just historical, it was operational. The team hadn't just found a treasure chest, they had, for all intents and purposes, knocked on the door of something far more advanced than anyone could have ever imagined. The few crew members present were allegedly required to sign new, ironclad, non-disclosure agreements that evening. The hunt for history was over. A government-level secret was just beginning. The most shocking part wasn't the vault or the glowing cross. It was the energy reading that came just moments before all their advanced equipment mysteriously failed. Project Oak Guardian.
Today's the day we find Rick's one thing.
Yeah.
The silence from the Lagina camp and the network was deafening, but in the digital age, secrets have a short shelf life. A second, more explosive leak hit the internet, and this time, it wasn't just a picture. It was a scanned document bearing the faint watermark of the Communications Security Establishment, Canada's equivalent of the NSA. The subject line was stark. Project Oak Guardian, Assessment of Non-Terrestrial Artifact. Below it, paragraphs were blacked out, but a few phrases remained, clear as day. Emits a low-frequency signal, unidentified metallic composition, and immediate containment protocol. This document sent a shockwave through the Oak Island community. Suddenly, the strange, unmarked black SUVs that had been spotted near the island in recent weeks made sense. The government wasn't just interested, they were involved, and had been for longer than anyone knew. Then came the second photo, leaked by the same anonymous source. It showed what was inside the vault.
And that's going to be the bottom of the can. Let's get a scan right in here.
Resting on a pedestal in the center of the basalt chamber was not a chest, not a body, but a perfect seamless sphere of the same polished black material. It was about 2 feet in diameter, and its surface was absorbing all light, creating an unnerving void in the camera's floodlights. Here's where it gets crazy. According to the notes in the margins of the leaked document, before the high-end equipment failed, it registered a stable electromagnetic field emanating from the sphere. More than that, it detected a repeating complex signal. This wasn't just a hum, it was a broadcast. It was a pattern signal containing more data than the entire Library of Congress, repeating every 3.14 seconds. Yes, the value of pi. Some experts who analyze the leaked data online claim this is the universal calling card of an advanced intelligence. The sphere wasn't just an object, it was a data storage device, a hard drive from a lost age or maybe from a different world. Rick's chilling line, "What is inside will change us," now took on a terrifying new meaning. He wasn't talking about wealth or fame, he was talking about a fundamental shift in human understanding. The powers that be weren't trying to hide a treasure, they were trying to control a revelation that would shatter our perception of the past and our place in the universe. The team had been searching for a period, an end to the story. What they found was an ellipsis, a continuation so profound it was deemed too dangerous for public knowledge. But the signal from the sphere wasn't random, it was a key, and it pointed directly to a vast hidden network that no one knew existed. The tunnels that talk. Before the official lockdown, the team managed to conduct one last wide-area ground-penetrating radar scan. What they found was the biggest WTF moment in the island's history.
You have the Pleiades somewhere between the beach and Frog Island.
The GPR revealed that the money pit, the swamp, and the newly found vault weren't separate points of interest. They were all nodes, connected by a vast network of tunnels. But these weren't simple, hand-dug tunnels. They were perfectly straight, intersecting at precise 90-degree angles, forming a pattern that looked disturbingly like a modern-day computer's circuit board spread across the entire island. This is where the other small, seemingly random finds from over the years suddenly clicked into place. The Roman coins found in the swamp weren't just dropped by accident. Truth be told, analysis of the leaked photos showed they weren't currency. They were markers made of a specific lead-tin alloy that, when placed at certain points in the island's circuit, would have acted as energy conductors. The infamous lead cross found years ago? It wasn't just a religious artifact. Its unique composition with an unusually high lead content suggests it was a key, designed to be inserted somewhere in this system to activate or deactivate something. The prevailing theory has always been that the Templar Knights constructed the money pit. But what if that's wrong? What if the Templars, with their advanced knowledge plundered from the Holy Land, didn't build this complex but found it? What if they were the first Project Oak Guardian, tasked with keeping this incredible technology safe and dormant? This theory explains the booby traps and flood tunnels not as measures to protect treasure, but to prevent anyone from accidentally turning the system on. It's a system designed to channel the immense geothermal and electromagnetic energy of the island itself into the sphere in the vault. The small golden box that was rumored to have been found nearby, resembling descriptions of the Ark of the Covenant, might not have been the Ark itself, but a power cell or a capacitor for this ancient machine. It connects everything. The stories of sacred relics, the Templar secret, the Roman presence in North America centuries before Columbus. They were all drawn to this place not for gold, but for a power source of unimaginable potential left behind by a civilization long forgotten. This ancient machine wasn't just a power source, it had a defense mechanism, a horrifying element that would explain why some people can't get near it. What they won't tell you about the crew. The human element of this 2025 discovery is perhaps the most disturbing part of all. It's the part they don't want you to think about. Shortly after the team broke through to that strange silent vault, 3 veteran members of the excavation crew abruptly quit. These weren't new guys, these were tough, experienced workers who had been on the island for years. They walked right off the site, packed their bags in a hurry, and left the island without a full explanation. The official word from the show was that they left for personal reasons. But the unofficial rumors, the whispers from other crew members, paint a much scarier picture. One of the men, a guy who had been with the team for 5 long seasons, later told a friend what happened. He said that as they got closer to breaking into the vault, a deep wrongness started to fill the air. He described it as a low humming sound that you couldn't really hear with your ears, but you could feel deep inside your bones, making your teeth ache.
Okay, now we're getting an image. Image coming in. Whoa!
He said it caused terrible headaches that felt like a nail being driven into his skull. But worse than that was the feeling of crazy paranoia. He started feeling like his own teammates were watching him, plotting against him. This was a man who trusted these people with his life, and suddenly he was afraid of them. Another worker told an even stranger story. He claimed to hear whispers coming up from the deep shaft. It wasn't the wind. He said it was a real voice, speaking a language that sounded like a mix of radio static and broken Latin. He couldn't make out most of it, but he was sure he heard it. The final straw for him, the thing that made him run, was when he thought he heard the whisper say his own son's name. That afternoon, he told his supervisor, "There is something down there that does not want us here. It knows us." He was gone by the next morning. Think about that for a second. Put yourself in their boots. You're a regular person, just there to do a job and earn a paycheck. You're digging for old treasure, a fun adventure. Then you stumble upon something that seems to be actively pushing you away, something that gets inside your head. Is it just an old sailor's curse, or is it a feature of whatever is buried there? Some experts in fringe science have suggested that very advanced technology could have a psychic or neurological effect on the human brain. It could be a kind of defense mechanism, a security system that doesn't use walls or traps, but instead targets our deepest fears to make us run away. The thing is, this isn't just a fantasy story. You can look up something called the Havana Syndrome, where real-life government workers experience sickness, confusion, and brain fog caused by a targeted energy they couldn't see or hear. What if the sphere in the Oak Island Vault is a much older and much more powerful version of that exact same technology? An invisible alarm system designed to protect itself. This forces you to wonder, what's the real treasure here? Is it rewriting history books? Or is it just getting out of there alive? This isn't a simple treasure hunt anymore, not by a long shot. The evidence, the impossible technology, the government secrecy, and now the very real human toll, it all points to one chilling conclusion. The Lagina brothers have spent a fortune and a lifetime looking for an answer, and they finally found one. But it's an answer that may have come at a terrifying cost, unleashing something that history's most powerful secret society, the Knights Templar, tried to keep buried for a very good reason. What do you think they really found? Was the island a tomb for a treasure or a prison for a technology? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more secrets they don't want you to know.